Abby and Chad, thank you for agreeing to do this testimonial with me. I'm going to come to Abby first. Abby, what has been your experience with Chad as he's gone through the mental load mastery program?
I think the biggest thing is his awareness. Like it has been super helpful to have the vocabulary that we talked a bit about, but also just recognizing and seeing that there's a whole lot more that goes into running a household, taking care of a kiddo, and the thought process behind all of that. He's done really well with seeing it and acknowledging it and doing something about it.
What were the kind of disagreements that you guys were getting in maybe in December before you guys registered, and when you saw some of my videos for the first time that have started to like evolve, that you guys aren't having some of those same like disagreements?
The dumb questions was a big one. Um, Chad just like would just pop off with something as I was in the middle of doing it, and in my mind it was super obvious, and so I'd get on him and get mad, and we had all kinds of good arguments about that. But I've noticed it's been really funny because he's even caught himself. There'll be moments where he'll fly off with something, and I don't even have to say anything, and he'll be like, "That was a dumb question," and it was like, and that's been really neat to watch. I've been really grateful for that. It's been kind of fun to watch it evolve and see him get there without the anger or the discussions. So
That's great to hear. In terms of the mental load that you experience as a stay-at-home parent, Abby, what would you say some of the mental load is, and that you feel like he's taken off of? I want to say what he's taken off your plate, but it was never necessarily your plate in the first place. So, what is some mental load that you have typically owned that maybe he's taken over some of?
another one is a grocery list. We started a shared grocery list on our notes, and that's been really helpful too. Like we watched one of your videos, and it kind of explained just opening the refrigerator door and seeing that we were out of ketchup, and him noticing things and just automatically putting it on the grocery list, and then just being more willing to even go to the store and do it. He's like, I noticed we're out of this. I'll go grab it. That's been really helpful, and it was just meal
And
planning
what
in general.
and what did that look like before he probably started with the videos or with this program?
I did a lot of it. I had my own grocery list on my own phone. I would just keep track of things. He might mention something was out, we need more salt, or we're out of, XYZ. And I would put that on the list. And I was the one who would go and do the grocery shopping. Or, he was always really good about going quick down, it's just right down the road. But I'd say a lot of it was what I was doing. I was in charge of that.
Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of guys, I think one of the causes of becoming a recovering man child myself is like I used to lack a lot of confidence in the home, and I felt like I was not a driver, I was not a co-owner in our organization. Chad, what kind of confidence would you say you've improved over the past couple months as you've been running the weekly meetings and like taking on more?
I just I feel more confident coming to Abby and just saying, hey, we need to do this, or we're out of this. I feel like I do have some of that ownership in the household, in decision making and what we're going to do and things that are coming up. I'm more invested in the outcome of those things, and planning them, and making sure that it is successful, that we're doing it together, and it's not just on Abby. And that was a big thing, was she would plan most everything, most trip, most vacation, most that kind of thing as well. And so being able to take some of that and help with it has been a boost in my confidence for sure.
Oh, awesome. And what would you say your confidence was like maybe more beforehand?
I would just stand back and watch. Um, I didn't want to overstep. I didn't want to get in the way of what she was already doing. And that was what I thought. So in being able to come in and help with some of that, it's been really good. It's been really nice. And hopefully it's been nice for her as well.
Chad, what would you say has been one of the maybe surprising benefits that you got out of the program and the practices that like you didn't necessarily see going in?
Uh, I feel like we did a lot of like we planned our boring meetings, but we also did some like role play. Okay, this is what I'm gonna bring up, and you would help. It was really good because the other guys in the group would be like, "Hey, you probably should say it a different way," or "You probably shouldn't say it that way," and we would walk through what we were gonna do, and I think that was a huge help to me in coming to Abby with difficult conversations, especially because we would kind of walk through. Don't say it this way. We need to, be more clear, more concise, more to the point. Don't beat around the bush, but let's have this hard conversation and really have the conversation. So
Yeah. Yeah. And you brought up earlier, I thought was one of my favorite moments with you was you came, you had your weekly meeting that you were being held accountable to. You came back. I don't know if you're in tears, but you're clearly in distress. You're like, man, this was a hard week. And we went in and said, what happened? And you pointed out that there was a family event that you guys was coming up for the two of you, and you wanted to discuss it. And I think you'd just asked like an open-ended question of
Mhm.
like, what else needs to be done for this? And like the fact that between you and the other guys, I've been like, I hear it. I hear exactly what just happened there. Anyone else got this one? And like the fact that one of your colleagues was able to pick it up, be like, yeah, I think I got it. It was cool seeing that you guys are almost self-coaching. I think one of the things that I try to have people see is that when they're signing up for the program, they're not just signing up for the 10 group sessions and the one-on-ones. They're signing up to have a little Zach on their shoulder for 13 weeks. So throughout the day, when you're about to ask a dumb question, you get me poking you on the shoulder, saying, "Hey, cut that out. This is going to end up in a fight, and you're going to have to talk about it with me when we get back to our call this week." Um, Abby, similar question is, when you saw that he registered, what were your expectations going in? Like, what did you think it was going to be like, and what do you feel like it actually ended up being like?
I remember being a little nervous because I thought maybe there was some more like groundwork we needed to do prior, or like I didn't honestly know with where our relationship was, if this was the right route for us to go, like if this was going to be helpful and productive, or if it was just going to be like open up a can of worms and make our situation a little bit more difficult. So that was definitely something that I was nervous about going in. But it's proven to be kind of the opposite. Like it's been super helpful, a lot more than I anticipated it would. I think it's allowed for us to have discussions easier and not get our guard up so quickly about things. That's been really helpful to have more of the calm discussions about, hey, this isn't something like we need to start World War III over, or we can take the emotion out of it and make it more about the delegation and like the practical aspects of it and take the emotion out of it. And that's been really helpful for a lot of it.
My last question here, I think for a lot of people, there's like one problem that exists in their relationship where if that one thing, whether it's like talking, like you never do this, you always do this, like absolute language, or maybe it's just like not being able to, ask dumb questions or something. Usually there's like that one thing that's like 20% of the problem that is 80% of the upset. What would you say one of that like main thing might be for either one of you? Did that question make sense?
It's a good question. I don't know.
What was the one thing that always came to a head? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so like I think like if there is one issue that kind of got resolved or you got the reps in to get better at it, what do you think that one thing was that you ended up really getting the practice in for that like is going to create like long-term difference for the two of you?
I don't mean this to sound redundant, but honestly, the dumb questions was a huge trigger for me in the beginning. It's something that we've dealt with for years, and it would just immediately set me off. And emotions would get high, and like we'd start going at it. And so, honestly, just eliminating the dumb questions has been really, really helpful. I think it's changed and it helped a lot of the other issues too,
Yeah.
where it was just helping. Chad has really gotten really good at noticing and observing, and like he can come into the room and not ask the dumb questions, but get, you know, kind of just dive right into the situation, come into the home and see the needs and meet the needs a whole lot easier without needing. I used to always tease him and like, I gotta hold your hand for everything. And so I feel like we've made really good improvements with that, and that's been really helpful.
Yeah, I'd say the dumb questions is a big one. That was probably 9 times out of 10. That's what our arguments would be about. Is I'd come and ask a dumb question and
something that would seem so obvious to me,
yeah.
And it was just like, why do I always have to like hold your hand for everything? And so it's just a matter of like the perception, being able to come in and to see, and then just be able to make the decisions. Like I think that was a lot of it, was your confidence and just like, I can make this decision, I can take this on, like I can handle this and do that. And I think that's been awesome.
I don't know if this is answerable, Chad, but was there like a clear epiphany that you had that had you like flipped the switch on that?
On the dumb questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say one of the last ones I can remember asking before Abby sent me one of your dumb questions video, and that's kind of she was doing something in the freezer. And I was like, "What are you doing?" That was our big argument, and we had a discussion, and our daughter came to us and like, "What's going on? You guys can't get divorced." And we're like, "No, we're just having a discussion." And so after that, she sent me your video, and it made me realize that yes, asking those kinds of questions that's really stupid. I can obviously see what's going on. I can see if there's a need, I can just step in and start helping. And I think that was my aha moment like Abby said in the beginning of our call, I a lot of times have to hear it from someone else. I can't hear it from who I'm closest to, because it just
But Chad's got a point now where I can just kind of look up at him, and he's like, "That was a dumb question." Like he's able to answer it for himself, and he's like, "Okay, let me positive it. Like let me let me start that over again."
Through this.
All right, and sorry, last question is, I know sometimes I've guys hate me because like I kind of call them out, and at some point there's one video that changes their mind, or it's like, their wife telling, "Hey, can you please go like talk to this guy and learn about his programs?" Was there a moment that you disliked me, or did you like me from that first video?
Personally, I enjoyed all the videos and liked what I was hearing and liked you, and that's why I ultimately decided to sign up, because something had to change. We were at that point where something had to be different. So
gotcha. Well, thank you, the two of you, for sharing your kind of journey with us. I really appreciate it, and I hope someone hears themselves in what you shared here today. Thank you.
Thanks.